I don't think she has the qualifications to be chancellor, and I had asked the mayor to withdraw her nomination. Um, but if in fact she gets the nomination, the waiver, then I'm going to try to work with her to ensure that our children receive the best education possible. But I am not in favor of her getting the waiver. That's what I'm going to say to her, loud and clear. I mean, one thing is that Mike Bloomberg is our mayor. I didn't say I voted for him, but he's our mayor. Like it or not, he is our mayor. And so, I know one thing as far as reading everything that I know and listening to everything that has been said. Mike Bloomberg and his people are reaching out and calling in all their chips. As you know, they've reached out to the three mayors, the former mayors, Dinkins, Giuliani, Koch. If there were more mayors to reach out to, they'd probably reach 4 or 5 if they could to try to gather support. They've reached out to university presidents. They've reached out to a lot of business people.
Oprah Winfrey.
And Oprah. Now, imagine you are let's say you're the president of Fordham University, and you get a call from a deputy mayor asking you to sign a letter on behalf of Mayor Bloomberg in support of his nominee. Knowing that, the mayor, doesn't matter who he is a very powerful individual, okay, with the city's budget at his or her disposal. And also knowing that the richest man in New York, worth $18 billion, is asking you to help him out in this situation. Many people are really skeptical to say no, okay, because they are afraid, in my opinion. They don't want to lose the positive relationships they have. They don't want to lose any type of funds and what have you and so forth that they may be receiving, okay? So, I guess if I had all of that and I reached out to people too, they would do the same thing. But the over 10,000 people that have signed the electronic petition, all of the parent leaders and others that have come out in support of the commissioner not granting the waiver. In fact, I received a fax today in my office from, I think, a Queens neighborhood or civic association representing over 110 different community organizations basically are coming out against the waiver. So I say to all of you, it ain't over till it's over. And I read or heard this morning that one of the deputy mayors said that called us the enemies of male control.
Right.
And I don't know which deputy mayor. I think it may have been, what's his name, the newest deputy mayor for public relations. And I said to myself, gee whiz, we are enemies of male control? Yes, I'm against male control. Enemy? I'm an enemy against dictatorship. And so the United States of America as a country is an enemy of dictators. And we have, as a country, tried to get rid of dictators. In my opinion, and the way Bloomberg is behaving, he's behaving like a dictator. That's number one.
Yes.
And I'm saying that loud and clear, as a member of the city council, as the chair of the education committee, because that's the way I feel, because that's how he's acting. Number two, I gave an analogy about a ship crossing the Atlantic Ocean with 1.1 million school children, where the captain has no experience, has never traveled across the ocean, knowing that the ocean is going to have hurricanes and storms, and hurricanes and storms are the budget, okay? Would you allow that individual to cross the Atlantic Ocean with 1 million children? No. The last scenario, then I'm going to turn to anybody else who wants to speak, is you have a son or daughter that's 15 years of age, that doesn't have any experience driving, that doesn't have a driver's license. Would you give the keys to a car to your 15-year-old child to drive across the United States of America? That's the same situation with handing Cathy Black the keys to Tweed and 1.1 million school children with a budget of $23 billion, knowing there's 135,000 employees and all of them unionized and none of their unions have contracts.
A public school parent, and I wholeheartedly concur with everything Councilmember Jackson and Sam Coleman said. I'd just like to add 2 points. One is that the mayor's privatization agenda, which he has advanced as being the revolutionary change that's going to sweep public education, was shown by standardized test results last summer to be a failure. Achievement in New York City public schools has not improved, and yet he's continuing to use money and influence to press his agenda to limit parent involvement and to limit democratic participation in the schools. And it's really important that people understand this. And the other thing I wanted to say is that yesterday I sent a petition signed by parents from my school to Commissioner Steiner asking that he not grant a waiver to Ms. Black. And I said in the letter that the commissioner himself had come and toured our school to see the terribly, terribly overcrowded conditions there that Chancellor Klein has absolutely refused to address in any form, or even conceded might be damaging to children's education. He continues to say that overcrowded classrooms are not a problem for educating students. So we parents really feel that the fact that the Chancellor is so deaf to the educational experience of kids in our classroom is a reflection of the fact that he has no experiential knowledge himself of classroom life. And we ask that the mayor appoint a chancellor who really understands the experience, the values, the history, the tradition, the struggles, the debates, the research that go into American education, instead of treating all of that stuff as negligible or something you can learn in an afternoon.
We are opposing charter schools. I've been a teacher for 30 years. The teachers I know have been against teaching to the test. Teaching to the test is a waste of time. I mean, you could do that for a couple hours, but you don't want to spend your whole year teaching to the test. It doesn't work. We want classrooms where the teachers are allowed to teach creatively. So the Green Party, I want to say, is holding a press conference on this Monday at City Hall at 11 a.m. in the morning. And Howie Hawkins will be there, our gubernatorial candidate. And I hope you will all come to that press conference Monday morning at 11 o'clock. And let's speak out for public education.
I'm in 100% agreement with Councilman Jackson's commentary on the reality of what we're facing today with Cathy Black. And I will go a step further and say that this is not an accident. This is part of a restructuring of the United States public education system to become more of a privatized or corporatized education system, with the leading force being Bloomberg over the past 10 years, pushing this whole aspect and having direct influence on the United States Department of Education, as well as some other major urban school centers, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., Newark, Chicago, Baltimore, having direct influence on them. And that his goal in the last 3 years of his mayoralship is to put into place the final infrastructure of this corporatization of public education, the final infrastructure. And Ms. Black, who is a few years from retirement from the publishing world, is a class ally of his, who he felt would be loyal enough to do the last bidding of putting the pieces together, the final touches on this.